Are you generous, or are you keeping score? Are you generous? It sounds like a simple question, but it behaves like a trapdoor. Because the moment the question is asked, the mind reaches for evidence. How much was given? How often it was offered? Who noticed? Who appreciated it? And whether it was enough. If generosity were real in the way it is usually imagined, it would not require proof. Yet the ego immediately begins measuring. Necessary, expected, fair, deserved. Those words turn an open hand into a contract. They also turn a relationship into a courtroom. And once a courtroom appears, everyone becomes a witness, a judge, or a defendant. Showing a readiness to give more than is strictly necessary or expected sounds noble, until the hidden question is heard. Necessary according to whose standard? Expected by which authority? And why should expectation have any power over love at all? Expectation is pressure. Pressure is fear. Fear is always the scent of separation. If more can be given, then something was being held back. If something was being held back, then the giving was conditional. And conditional giving is just bargaining with a halo. The instability of the concept becomes obvious the moment response enters the picture. The same gift can be met with entitlement or gratitude. The same amount can feel insulting to one and miraculous to another. So where did generosity live? In the number? In the giver? In the receiver's reaction? None of those answers survive inspection. If generosity depends on how it lands, then it is not generosity. It is approval seeking with better branding. Time gets dragged into the same illusion. Money is said to be infinite, time is said to be finite. But the moment time is treated as scarce, giving it becomes sacrifice. And sacrifice always hides resentment. The ego loves calling resentment virtue. It loves calling depletion devotion. It loves calling endurance love. Even language exposes the problem. A generous sprinkle of pepper is either a whisper or a flood, depending on the tongue tasting it. So generosity cannot be quantity. It cannot be effort. It cannot be cost, because cost implies loss, and loss implies a self that can be diminished. This is the pivot. Generosity is not an action performed by a person. Generosity is a state of mind in which nothing is being withheld. When nothing is being withheld, there is no sense of giving. When there is no sense of giving, there is no sense of losing. When there is no sense of losing, calculation dissolves. And when calculation dissolves, what remains is naturally generous. Not because it is large, not because it is dramatic, but because it is free of the need to secure an outcome. True generosity leaves no residue. It leaves no inner speech demanding recognition. It leaves no secret expectation of repayment. It leaves no emotional invoice waiting to be paid. It does not look back to evaluate the response. It does not look forward to guarantee meaning. It moves, blesses, and disappears. The ego hates this kind of generosity because the ego requires contrast to exist. It requires a giver and a receiver. It requires a scale and a score. It requires imbalance to justify identity. But generosity without accounting erases roles. And when roles dissolve, the question, who gave what to whom, loses coherence. This is why, are you generous, cannot be answered with certainty. Yes becomes self-congratulation. No becomes self-improvement. Both preserve the ledger. Both keep the identity of giver intact. The only honest answer is a shift, a soft release of measuring, a quiet undoing of the need to be seen as good, a willingness to let giving be anonymous,
even within the mind. In that space, generosity is no longer a performance. It is what remains when fear stops negotiating for control. Then everything becomes simpler. A word, a pause, a listening presence, a refusal to weaponize attention, a willingness to let someone be exactly as they are without trying to purchase change. That is generosity. Not excess, not more than necessary, not what is expected, but what is not withheld. It is the recognition that nothing real can be threatened, so nothing real needs to be protected. It is the end of the subtle pose that says, "Look what was done."
Submitted for consideration. A gift that left no fingerprints, no receipt, no echo, no voice clearing its throat to say, "Look what was done." In a world obsessed with measuring worth, weighing effort, and tallying virtue, this offering vanished the moment it appeared. It left behind no proof, no posture, and no one to applaud. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If nothing is remembered, nothing is recorded, and no one gets credit, was anything given at all? Or was this something rarer? A moment when the need to be seen quietly stepped aside, and generosity slipped through unnoticed, into the one place it was never meant to be counted. You may find this location difficult to map. It has no coordinates, no currency, and no witnesses. But should it be encountered, it will be recognized instantly, because nothing feels lighter than a gift without weight.